Hi boys and girls, welcome to Grammar. It's Tuesday and you know that means that it's our day that we take our notes. So make sure that you have your language arts notebook out and that you are ready to take these notes right along with me. Okay, so this week we're moving on to a new grammar concept. The last couple of weeks we have been talking about prepositional phrases. And today we're going to move on and we're going to talk about how to use commas with prepositional phrases. Okay, so that will be your title of your notes. So, and again, just always remember that you can pause this video whenever you need to make sure that you have all the notes. Okay, so these are the two things I want you to write down now. Okay, so there's two things to remember for this week. That first, prepositional phrases can be at the beginning, middle, or end of a sentence. And second, when the prepositional phrase is at the beginning of the sentence, we need to use a comma after the prepositional phrase. Okay, so those are two pieces of information I need you to write down. So if you need to pause this video and do that, then that's fine. Okay, all right, so now that you've written that down, we're going to do just a few examples. Okay, so this first example, during math class, my stomach started to hurt. Okay, so the first thing that you're going to do is you're going to locate the preposition, okay, and then you're going to find that prepositional phrase, okay? So we know that the preposition is during, and so that prepositional phrase would be during math class, my stomach started to hurt. So just looking up here, what we wrote down, when the prepositional phrase is at the beginning of the sentence, we need to use a comma after the prepositional phrase. So what you would do is you're just going to write during math class, comma, my stomach started to hurt. Okay, so it's as simple as that, locating the prepositional phrase at the beginning of the sentence and putting a comma after it. Okay, next one, over summer break, I went on 2 vacations. Okay, so over summer break, I went on 2 vacations. And you kind of can tell where you're going to put the comma based on how it sounds when you read it. You kind of already know where you're going to pause. Over summer break, I went on 2 vacations. Okay, so we know that over is our preposition. And then this would be our prepositional phrase, over summer break. So we are going to add our comma right there. So over summer break, I went on 2 vacations. Okay, here's another example. On Tuesday, we are holding our first meeting. Okay, once again, let's locate that preposition at the beginning of the sentence, which is on. Okay, and the prepositional phrase would be on Tuesday. Okay, we are holding our first meeting. And again, it kind of is just that natural pause when you're saying that sentence. On Tuesday, we are holding our first meeting. So we know we're going to put a comma right after that prepositional phrase. Okay, last example. Toward the big blue house, there is a slippery ice patch. Okay, so here we've got our preposition toward. Okay, toward the big blue house. So that would be the whole prepositional phrase. And we know we're going to put a comma right there. Okay, so toward the big blue house, comma, there is a slippery ice patch. All right, so that's how you use commas with prepositional phrases. It's pretty simple when they are at the beginning of a sentence. Okay, here are a few rules for you to write down just to kind of go by. More often than not, you're always going to use a comma after a prepositional phrase, but there are a few rules just to remember. Number one, if it's a long prepositional phrase with 4 or more words, then you must have a comma. Okay, so you must have a comma if it's 4 or more words. Okay. Number two, short prepositional phrases, 4 or less words, you should pretty much just include a comma unless it sounds weird. So unless it's not in a place where you would make a natural pause when you're reading that sentence, then you wouldn't need a comma, but for sure, 4 or more words you must, and pretty much on all other short prepositional phrases, you're going to want to include a comma also. Okay, so for our purposes this week, basically you're just going to locate the prepositional phrase, add the comma right there. So during math class, comma, my stomach started to hurt. Okay, so that's our grammar concept this week. It's a lot simpler than the one we had last week. I know that one was a little tough with prepositional phrases as adjectives or adverbs, but this one should be pretty simple for you this week. So we will, as always, do some practice with it for the rest of the week, and then we will have our quiz on Friday. Have a great week.